Hi everyone, my name is Shiva and I will start our presentation by introducing the skeletal system. What is skeletal system? The skeletal system is the framework of the human body. It gives our body shape and structure and it helps us stand upright. The skeletal system is made up of bones, cartilage, joints, and ligaments. All these parts work together to support and protect our body. The skeletal system has several important functions. First, it supports the body and gives us posture. Second, it protects vital organs such as the brain, heart, and lungs. Third, it enables movement working together with muscles. It also stores minerals like calcium and phosphorus, which are important for bone strength. Lastly, bones also help to produce the blood cells in the bone marrow. Next, let's explore the different types of bones in the human body. There are different types of bones based on their shape and function. First, we have long bones. Long bones are long and cylindrical in shape and they are longer than they are wide. These bones act as levers to help movement and support body weight. Examples of long bones include the femur and the humerus. Next are short bones. Short bones have a cube-like shape where the length and width are almost equal. Their main function is to provide stability with limited movement. For examples of short bones are the carpals in the wrist and tarsals in the ankle. Moving on, we also have flat bones. Flat bones are thin, flat, and broad. They help protect internal organs and provide a large surface area for muscle attachments. For examples of flat bones include the skull, ribs, and sternum. Lastly, we have irregular bones. These bones have complex and irregular shapes and perform specialized functions. They also help to support and protect nervous tissue. An example of irregular bones is the vertebra, which protect the spinal cord. And that's all from my part. Thank you for listening, and I will pass it to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, and today I will be presenting exoskeleton. The exoskeleton forms the central framework of the body and protects vital organs. It supports the head, neck, and trunk while protecting the brain, spinal cord, heart, and lungs. The exoskeleton consists of the skull, vertebral column, and thoracic cage, which are the focus of this presentation. The first one is skull. The skull protects the brain and supports the face. It is divided into the cranium and facial bones. The cranium consists of 8 bones and encloses the brain. These include the frontal bone, parietal bone, occipital bone, temporal bones, and sphenoid bones, and ethmoid bone. The facial skeleton is made up of 14 bones that shape the face and assist in breathing, chewing, and speech. These bones include the nasal bones, zygomatic bones, maxillae, palatine bones, lacrimal bones, vomer, and the mandible. The mandible is the only movable bone of the skull. Next is vertebral column. The vertebral column or spinal column consists of 26 vertebrae. Its main functions are to support the body, protect the spinal cord, and allow movement. Each vertebrae has a body that supports weight, a lamina that forms the back portion, and a vertebral foramen that allows the spinal cord to pass through. The vertebral column is divided into regions. There are 7 cervical vertebrae that form the neck, 12 thoracic vertebrae that attach to the ribs, and 5 lumbar vertebrae that bear most of the body's weight. The sacrum is formed by fused vertebrae and connects the spine to the pelvis, while the coccyx forms the end of the spinal cord. Is thoracic cage. The thoracic cage also known as the rib cage, protects the heart and lungs and support breathing. It consists of the ribs, sternum, and thoracic vertebrae. There are 12 pairs of the ribs. The first 7 pairs are the true ribs that attach directly to the sternum. The next 3 pairs are false ribs that attach indirectly through cartilage. And the last 2 pairs are floating ribs that attach only to the vertebral column. The sternum is a flat bone at the center of the chest and is divided into 3 parts: the manubrium, body, and xiphoid process.
I will be presenting about shoulder bones. It is formed of pectoral girdle that supports arms and hands. It consists of clavicle, which is collarbone. It connects manubrium to scapula, while scapula is a shoulder bone. Next, acromion. It is an extension of scapula. It forms high point of the shoulder. Next bone structure is the arm bones. It is divided into 3, which is humerus, the upper arm, radius, the smaller, shorter bone in forearm, and also ulna, a larger, longer bone of forearm. It also have olecranon process, which is a large projection on upper end of ulna and the tip of our elbow. Connecting to arms is the wrist, hands, and the fingers. It consists of 8 carpal bones that form the wrist. 5 of the carpal bones form the palm of hand. It also have 14 phalanges, which is the bone of our fingers. So in every fingers, there are 4 fingers that have 3 bones and the thumb that has 2 bones. Secondly, we will talk about lower body. There are tibia and fibula. In tibula, there are shin bone. Shin bone is a larger anterior weight-bearing bone of lower leg. Next is fibula, a smaller of the 2 bones of lower leg. Tibia and fibula ends and connects to the ankles. Ankles are joints connecting lower leg and foot. This is to allow for movements. It is made up of 7 tarsal bones. Besides that, there are malleolus, a rounded bony projection on tibia and fibula on sides of each ankle joint. At the ankles, there are also talus. It articulates with tibia and fibula, not to forget calcaneus, or known as heel bone. Heel bone is largest of tarsal bones in body. Last but not least, the last bone parts in our body is our feet and toes. The bone called as the metatarsals that have 5 bones. It forms part of the foot which toes are attached to phalanges or bones of toes. Our great toes has 2 phalanges, while the other toes have 3. Phalanges knee is a cruciate ligament. This is because it allows movement to the knee. Let's explain about the types of vertebrae. It is spelled with E. First, cervical vertebrae. There are a set of 7 named from C1 to C7. It forms our back to the neck. Next is thoracic vertebrae. This is when there are a set of 12 from T1 to T12. There are a pair of ribs attached to each. Moving down lower is the lumbar vertebrae. There are 5 sets of it from L1 to L5. It is the strongest and the largest vertebrae because it bears most of the body weight at the back. The following part of the vertebrae is sacrum. It forms lower portion of the back. There are 5 separate bones at birth, fused together to form single bone. And last but not least, coccyx, known as tailbone. It forms end of the spine. Coccyx made of 4 small bones that are fused together. The bone of pelvis. It protects internal organs. It supports lower extremities. There are ilium. Ilium forms back and sides of pubic bone. Remember, I in ilium means for hip. Besides that is sacroiliac, which is an articulation between sacrum and posterior portion of ilium. The other part of pelvis is ischium. It forms lower posterior portion of pubic bone and bears weight of the body when sitting. Other than that, pubis. Pubis forms anterior portion of pubic bone, different from pubic symphysis, which is a cartilaginous joint and uniting left-right pubic bones. And last but not least, acetabulum, a large circular cavity in each side of the pelvis. It also articulates with head of femur to form to the lower bones of the body, which is legs. There are an upper legs and also the lower legs. Let's talk about the upper legs first. In the upper legs, there are femurs. It is the largest bones of the body. It connects to the knees. There are patella, or also known as the kneecap. The name of the bone behind the knee is called as popliteal knee. Knee is a cruciate ligament. This is because it allows movements of the knee. Secondly, we will talk about lower body. There are tibia and fibula. In tibula, there are shin bone. Shin bone is a larger anterior weight-bearing bone of lower leg. Next is fibula, a smaller of the two bones of lower leg. Tibia and fibula ends and connects to the ankles. Ankles are joints connecting lower leg and foot. This is to allow for movements. It is made up of 7 tarsal bones. Besides that, there are malleolus, a rounded bony projection on tibia and fibula on sides of each ankle joint. At the ankles, there are also talus. It articulates with tibia and fibula, not to forget calcaneus, or known as heel bone. Heel bone is largest of tarsal bones in body. Last but not least, the last bone parts in our body is our feet and toes. The bone called as the metatarsals that have 5 bones. It forms part of the foot which toes are attached to phalanges or bones of toes. Our great toes has 2 phalanges, while the other toes have 3. Phalanges knee is a cruciate ligament. This is because it allows movement to the knee.
Next, I will continue for the muscular system. So, the function of the muscular system is to help hold the body upright and allow the movement such as walking and lifting objects. The second one is muscle contraction helps generate body heat to maintain the body temperature. Muscle also help them move food through the digestive system through rhythmic contraction. So, in addition, muscle assists blood flow, especially the heart muscle and skeletal muscle. Lastly, muscle have move fluids through the ducts and tubes in other body systems such as respiratory and urinary system. Next, I will explain the structure of muscular system. So the first one is fascia, which is a band of connective tissue that surrounds and supports muscle. It is flexible, allowing smooth muscle movement. Next are tendons, which is narrow bands of strong, non-elastic connective tissue. Their function is to attach muscle of bones. And lastly, we have muscle fibers, long, slender cells that make up the muscle and are responsible for muscle contraction. Now, let's move on to the types of muscle tissue. So, the first one is skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle are attached to the bones and are responsible for body movements such as lifting objects. These muscles are voluntary, meaning that we can control them consciously. They are also striated, which means they have a straight appearance under the microscope. Now, let's move on to the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle are located in the walls of internal organs, such as digestive tract, blood vessel, and ducts leading to the glands. Their function is to move and control the flow of fluids within this structure. Smooth muscles are involuntary, meaning that they work automatically without conscious control, and they are non-striated and also known as a visceral muscle. And the last one for the types of muscle tissue is myocardial muscle. So, myocardial muscle, also known as cardiac muscle. The term of myocardius comes from myo meaning muscle and cardi means heart. This muscle forms the muscular walls of the heart. It contracts to relax continuously to produce the heartbeat. Myocardial muscle is involuntary, meaning it works automatically without conscious control.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi. Today I will explain how muscle work. First, muscle work when they receive signal from motor nerve. This is called muscle innervation. When the nerve sends a signal, the muscle contracts, which means it becomes shorter and thicker. When the signal stops, the muscle relax and return to its original shape. Muscle also work in pair, called antagonistic pairs. When one muscle contracts, the opposite muscle relax. For example, when the bicep contracts to bend the arm, the tricep relax, and when the tricep contracts to strengthen the arm, the bicep relax. Next, I will explain about muscle movement. Muscle allow our body to move in many different ways. This movement happen when muscle contract and pull on bones. First, we have flexion and extension. Flexion means bending a joint, for example, when you bend your elbow or knee. Extension means strengthening a joint, such as when you straighten your arm or leg. Next, we have abduction and adduction. Abduction means moving a body part away from the middle of the body. For example, lifting your arm to the side. Abduction means bringing the body parts back towards the middle. We also have supination and pronation. Supination is when the palm of the hand or the sole of the foot turn upward. Pronation is when the palm or sole turn downward. Another type of movement is dorsiflexion. Another type of movement is dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Dorsiflexion is when you lift your foot upward, like when you pull your toes toward your face. Plantar flexion is when you point your toes downward, such as when standing on tiptoes. Finally, we have rotation and circumduction. Rotation is when a body part turns around it as if, for example, turning your head from left to right. Circumduction is circular movement, like moving your arm in a circle. Next, we move to muscle naming. Muscles are named in a systematic way to help us understand their location and function. The name of muscle usually describes important characteristics of the muscle. First, muscle can be named based on their location. For example, the frontalis muscle is located in the frontal region of the skull, which is the forehead. This muscle helps to raise the eyebrows and create facial expression. Second, muscle can be named based on their action. The gastrocnemius muscle helps with plantar flexion, which means pointing the foot downward when we walk or stand on tiptoes. Third, muscle can be named according to their size or shape. For example, the pectoralis major is called major because it is larger chest muscle. Muscles with the name minor are usually smaller. Muscles may also be named based on their origin and insertion, which refer to where the muscle starts and end on the bones. This helps us understand how the muscle produces movement. Another example is deltoid muscle, which is named after its regular shapes. It covers the shoulder and helps lift the arm away from the body. By using these naming rules, we can easily identify where our muscle is located, what it looks like, and what movement it produces.